like to call in, 873-1400, 336-499-0681. The Federal Reserve System was enacted on December 23rd, 1913, in the cover of darkness when everyone had adjourned for the Christmas break. So that right there should tell you how they put in this shadowy, corrupt institution that has bankrupt our country. We got a phone call. You're on the Real News. Hey, you're on the Real News.
Hey, Brian. This is Mitch. You know me. But anyway, I just want to call it. You know, Ralph Nader had predicted this like 2 years ago that this was going to happen, and nobody listened to him.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I was aware that he had made some financial predictions much like this. Ron Paul had also, and it's coming to fruition now. And we've got another phone call. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
I was for Kay Hagen until she said something about Obama, and that just lost me.
Well, that question was sent to us by one of our listeners. Everyone, feel free to email us questions you'd like to have asked, and we'll do it.
All right, thanks, pal.
Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy.
Hey, you're with us on the Real News.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good, good. How you doing today?
Pretty good. I just turned your station on there, and I was going to ask a general question. I was wondering I just wonder how many listeners and how many people have called in to think about the economic condition we're in this country, how much that would correspond to the failure of personal responsibility, for one thing, and government responsibility. And you know what I mean by that is I was reading an article the other day about so-called prosperity. You know, we're supposedly the richest country in the world, correct?
So they say. We're also the biggest debtor nation in the history of the world.
Exactly. So that would not make us the richest country. I was reading an article that said it's basically an illusion, okay? Everybody has, you know, 2 or 3 cars at their house, TV in every room, the latest furniture, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, most of it's going to be coming up 2 years from now after that no-interest payment plan they got. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Everybody's got their necks stretched out, and they've had the heyday, and now it's the payday.
Exactly. And my point is this. That happens on a national level as well.
Absolutely. I mean, their credit card's much bigger than ours, the federal government, but still, everything is based entirely on debt.
Exactly, which is, it just can't keep going. And people, you know, the 3 or 4 or 500 points the stock market goes up in the last couple of days. It's just short-lived because this is a generation-type payback we're talking about, and we're not going to be able to do it. And that sounds pessimistic, but it's just reality.
Well, for the first time, we saw them admit this past week, and everybody needs to let this sink in. They admitted that they printed the $85 billion to bail out AIG. They printed that out of thin air, backed by nothing, and that's why our dollar is in free fall. And you're right, the slide is just going to continue. And McCain and Obama, they don't have a plan. They don't even address this. It's just change, change, change. All we're going to be left with is change.
Yeah, I was noticing that Glenn Beck. I'm not a big CNN fan at all, but when you don't have the money to, or willingness to pay for the other channels to be able to get Fox or something like that, that's a little bit more conservative. Glenn Beck is the most conservative I can find, and he's talking about how this country's broke. And this country's been broke for years now, but we're living on that edge where we're just not having to pay yet. We're not having to pay the price just yet.
I agree with you.
It's coming.
I hate to cut you off, but we're going to try to get all the phone calls we can in, and we've got another phone call. Call back anytime, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You're with us on the Real News.
Hey, Farron, how's everything?
Good, good. How you doing today?
Oh, doing all right. Hey, this is Mike from Statesville. I'm just going to give you a call and commend you. Once again, another good show.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you calling in, and only together can we affect real change. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
Well, I'd just like to agree with your caller about those 3 calls ago that this looks like it's inevitable. I mean, it's on a downhill slide, and I just don't know if it can be stopped. We definitely ain't got competent enough people to do anything about it. You just played the clip with Ron Paul. When he was running for president, everybody treated him like the town drunk. now guess what? He turned out to be right.
Yeah, we had a chance and we blew it. Well, we've got one more phone call. We're trying to get them all in, and I want to thank you very much for calling in today.
Yes, sir. Take care, friend.
Hey, you're with us on the Real News.
Hey, is this Barron?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, this is Dave.
Hey, how you doing today?
All right. I was just listening to you, and the guy that called in, he was talking about the Astors and the Rockefellers and Rothschilds and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
And how the Astor guy got killed on the Titanic right before the Federal Reserve came about.
That's right.
Seems to me like maybe that Titanic deal was no accident, you know?
Well, there's been some speculation of that.
I've also heard J.P. Morgan was actually in charge of constructing that ship, which is, of course, astounding.
Really now?
Very coincidental. And you're probably well aware of how the American people have been completely robbed by the Federal Reserve, and most people that you talk to have no clue of how it works or what's actually being done here.
Right, and, you know, because you did a false flag broadcast maybe a week or two ago. You know, maybe that was some of that stuff like 9/11, Pearl Harbor, stuff like that, you know.
Well, let me ask you while I got you on the air, because we've took some heat for our views on 9/11, and would you mind telling us what's your opinion? Do you believe the government's version of that?
No way, man. When I saw at 5:30 that evening, when I saw the Trade Center building number 7 completely implode in on itself, no. I remembered as a child seeing the Pearl Harbor stuff, and I didn't believe that as a kid, and I don't believe 9/11 went the way they said it went. No, I don't.
Well,
and really, I never thought anything about the Titanic until that feller just mentioned that Astor guy going down on it.
Well, what's your opinion on the financial collapse we're seeing this week?
I really don't have an opinion on it, man. I really don't know all about it.
Hey, we've got one more phone call, and we're trying to squeeze them all in. We've broke our record today for most phone calls, and I want to thank you for calling and invite you to call back anytime, sir.
All right, brother, thanks.
Thanks. Hey, you're on the Real News.
Hey, this is Joe from Mooresville. How you doing?
Hey, great, Joe. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Listen, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona for all you conspiracy theorists out there.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's your opportunity. Explain it to us. How did 2 planes bring down 3 buildings, and how did a plane evaporate into thin air on Flight 93? Tell us.
So 93, which one was that, Pennsylvania or the Pentagon?
Pennsylvania. You have to be learned in the subject to discuss it.
Okay, so the plane in Pennsylvania disappeared, you tell me, right?
That's right. Evaporated into thin air. That's the government's version. You got to know the government's version to criticize somebody.
Well, the building 7 pretty much caught fire too as well, didn't it? Didn't it burn from inside also?
Yeah, they said that a fire caused the building to fall straight down in its footprint in 8 seconds. Something that's never happened in the history of the world. Explain it to us. Now's your chance.
Well, here's my point.
Oh, you can't explain it, but you're gonna criticize me for criticizing the government's version.
No, I'm not criticizing. Here's what I'm saying. Just imagine how many people.
Hey, did Lee Harvey Oswald, was he the lone gunman? Was he the lone gunman in the Kennedy assassination? Do you buy that one?
No, I don't have that one yet, but I wouldn't doubt he might have been.
He was the lone gunman, so you believe the version of the Kennedy assassination?
There's a possibility. You never know.
So could I be right? Could I have a possibility? If they could have a possibility on that one, maybe I got a possibility.
Don't get me wrong. There's a possibility on everything. That's true.
Okay. All right. Well, please, if you're going to call in and debate me, please be learned in the facts, please.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I know that 2 planes were held up with box cutters. Is that a fact?
20 seconds. We got 20 seconds. I invite you to call back anytime, but we got 20 seconds to go off the air, sir. But I do appreciate your call.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thanks. We're not going to have time to go to our poll this week, so I just want to tell everyone that we got a real patriot, Charlie Gills from the Feel Good Foundation next week, feelgoodfoundation.org. He was a first responder on 9/11, and he's going to be our guest. We are all about helping the first responders on 9/11. And until next week, this is Farron saying, God help us all.